What's up, guys? Welcome to Study News. In today's video, we're going to be talking a little bit about the patch 1.2 as well as the 10 DLC leaks and the multiplayer aspect of Cyberpunk 2077. Let's talk about it. But of course, before we get there, definitely like and subscribe in this video.
We're gonna try not to cover like all of it, but we're just gonna highlight some of the important stuff. So in this article from Game Informer, Cyberpunk 2077's 1.2 patch is massive. Ever since its anticipated release at the end of last year, Cyberpunk has been facing backlash and high scrutiny because of a plethora of bugs, crashes, and even broken promises. Today, CD Projekt Red unveiled the notes for their massive 1.2 patch. The fixes are evenly spread out to optimize gameplay, quests, and open world, cinematic designs, environments, levels, graphics, audio, animation, UI, and stability and performance.
Now, keep in mind, a lot of these, the 1.2 patch primarily solves the last gen consoles, PS4 as well as the Xbox One. But from what I read, some of these patches actually affected negatively for PC players.
Some of the most important fixes include preventing quests from being incompletable. Fixes like this appear in a majority of the sections listed above. So there's actually quite a bit of quests that you can't complete. But funny enough, playing the game, I haven't run into any of that.
And you're playing this on the PC, correct?
Yeah, playing it on PC. So that might just be a console thing. Reworking missing or misplaced assets that were constant immersion breakers. I think they also fixed the AI for the police and stuff. When you commit a crime, the police they spawn like immediately within your vicinity. So they fixed it so that they spawn further away. You mentioned earlier that the most of the fixes were for the console version.
Yes,
but is the game available now? Because I remember they took it away from the store.
No, it's not actually. It is still not available for sale in the PS Network. A lot of these fixes, yes, helped out with the consoles, but like I said, these are older gen consoles. So the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, I don't think. They might have improved it a little bit for those, but for the most part, a lot of the fixes were for the older gen consoles. The one thing I brought up to Riven before we started recording was during the apology video that the CEO made about this, he basically put a nod like, "Oh, there's not much that needs to be fixed," but from scrolling through all this, there was a lot that needed to be fixed. If I recall, we still don't have a PS5 graphic patch yet. That was supposed to come out 2 months ago with the previous, I guess, roadmap that he had. But it looks like that was pushed back to probably maybe end of this year, maybe.
So speaking of pushing back, right? We mentioned earlier that CD Projekt Red is also pushing back on the multiplayer that they promised us. So in this Engadget article, CD Projekt Red is reconsidering Cyberpunk 2077 multiplayer. On the heels of its massive Cyberpunk 2077 patch, developer CD Projekt Red has outlined its roadmap for the open-world game. The bad news is that it's reconsidering its plans to launch a Cyberpunk 2077 multiplayer mode as its next AAA release. Instead, the Polish studio is focusing on bringing online into all of its franchise one day. CD Projekt Red CEO detailed its long-term approach to multiplayer in a new video, stating it would implement online elements into games where they make sense. He added, "We don't want to go overboard or lose our single-player DNA. We want to take thoughtful steps to build robust online capabilities."
It just sounds like it kind of sounds like they want to make the multiplayer better than the initial launch of the single-player campaign stuff. But it also, to me, sounds like they got from all the patches they did fix from the original single player, they got a long way to go in terms of fixing everything that needs to be fixed for the multiplayer aspect of it.
Yeah, I think this is like the right move to go because like the single player is still broken. How can you release like
Something else.
yeah, how can you release like a presentable multiplayer when your single player still needs a ton of work? At this point, like I feel like most of the player base is sort of like their excitement for it has kind of died down. So I think it's perfectly okay to sort of just put the multiplayer away for now and then just simply focus on the single player aspect.
If anything, the only reason why they would want the multiplayer is more as in an investing standpoint for investors, where multiplayer is probably where a lot of the money is coming from. Because if you look at like a GTA 5, for example, a bulk of its money is from the multiplayer,
Yeah,
and that's probably what they're seeing. So as an investor, you probably hated the fact they're pushing multiplayer because now you're just losing all the money, and you've been like almost in the red because of the blotched launch for the single player stuff. So as an investor, terrible, but as a consumer, that's great to hear because now they want to release a good product, supposedly, hopefully, a good product when multiplayer does eventually come out. I mean, this is like I said before, as a player, this is good news. But this at the same time, like multiplayer is not really like my forte. Like when I think of like Cyberpunk, I was thinking more of the single player aspect of it. So multiplayer is not really like something that I would be hyped or disappointed for if it was delayed. But the fact that they are at least realizing that fixing the single player is much more of a priority, that I can appreciate.
so talking about the single player aspect of Cyberpunk, so let's move on to this next article, which I find really, really, really interesting. So a couple of days ago, there was a leak that showed off CD Projekt Red's supposed plans for Cyberpunk 2077's DLCs.
Yes.
So here's the original story from Games Radar. Cyberpunk 2077's DLC plans have leaked thanks to information pulled from the Epic Games Store. The information was reportedly pulled from the development end of the Epic Games Store by Reddit user Prickly Assassin, and looks like there's plenty of Cyberpunk 2077 DLC on the horizon.
It says here it highlights 9 different DLC packs and links to screenshots, of course, that like Riven was saying, we'll add that in there, of the Epic Games Store development. So that's crazy. 9 different DLCs. Now, not all of them, of course, are expansions. But yeah, that's a long roadmap. So they seem to have like if this is true, it seems like they have a long roadmap before the entire, I guess, Cyberpunk universe is exposed or finished, I guess.
Okay, let's go through the supposed DLCs, right?
Okay, sure.
So here we
Here's
have
a list right here.
Yeah, so we have the first one here on the list, Ripper Doc's expansion. So the guy in the article, he's providing what he thinks what's going to be in the DLC, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Ripper Doc's expansion probably adds a few animations and cutscenes when installing a new cyberware at a Ripper. It might also add more Rippers around the map.
Okay. Small stuff.
Yeah, it's probably not going to be like big, like a big expansion, right? They're like little tiny additions to the game.
Yeah, like this one right here is body shop expansions, adding more options for tattoos, piercings, and character customization. So, yeah.
Yeah, and then there's fashion forward expansion. So I'm guessing that might be clothing related. Like one of my problems with the game was how your outfit ends up not looking really, really good. You're just like equipping like random equipment, and your outfit just looks kind of like it's not like coordinated.
Yeah.
But
I know how it feels.
But the thing is, like you're only equipping them for their stats and not for their actual appearance. So
yeah, exactly.
Gangs of Night City probably cut content that was supposed to be in the base game. They didn't make it in time to release. Body of Chrome.
Expansion for Lizzie Wizzy?
Yeah, she is the only character that is mentioned to have a body that is all chrome.
So that's just more speculation.
Yeah.
So like maybe like an extra mission involving her possibly.
Mm-hmm. Rides of the Dark Future says here probably cut content. I think it would add vehicle customization such as paint jobs and tuning.
That makes sense.
The Relic, which is a reference to the little chip that Johnny Silverhand's consciousness is in. I don't really know what to make of this. Might be an expansion for Johnny Silverhand. Neck Deep. I think it will include more endings or continue the Sun ending. Night City expansion. I think this will be the most interesting DLC. I think it will add more interiors for buildings, new POIs, and maybe options to buy apartments in different areas of the game.
That'd be cool.
And expansion pass. Much like The Witcher 3, this is probably going to be a bundle for the 2 paid DLCs for a cheaper price. So,
okay.
We just wanted to throw in like an update to the story. CD Projekt Red says that Cyberpunk 2077, the data leak from the Epic Games Store does not reveal the names of the upcoming DLC or expansion packs. When we first got word of the leaks, which includes references to 4 different expansions, it seemed obvious that we'd learn the names of future Cyberpunk 2077 DLC. But in a statement to IGN, CD Projekt Red confirms that the leaks are not DLCs for Cyberpunk 2077.
So if that's the case, then that means they're just gonna it's just maybe future patches that will be added in because it wasn't a part of the original. So if that's the case, then yeah, I think that's maybe why it's not classified as a DLC.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I mean, it could just be like you said, like stuff that they add in, and they're just not gonna, they're just not gonna count it as like a DLC.
Yeah. So obviously, this is all speculation, and hopefully we'll get some more information on this because obviously I want to get back into Cyberpunk, but like right now, I don't know how far did you get? Because I know for me, I kind of stopped like halfway, and I just kind of stopped like pretty much right when I think it's just a little before or a little after Johnny Silverhand's introduced is when I kind of stopped.
I think I got up like close to the very last part of the game, but I ended up just doing side missions.
Yeah,
and I just
and with the PS5, like that's what I've been using. I didn't encounter too many game breaking stuff, but yeah, so that's why I'm still able to finish it. It was more the reason why I haven't finished it is more so because of I don't know. I just I wanted more from it, and it felt a little bit like customization didn't feel like it's up there. I don't know. There's a few things that I wish they could add in, and I just kind of got bored with it personally.
I kind of got bored with the game too. But the thing is, I was so close to finishing it, and I was just doing side missions. So I can, like with this next patch, I can probably get back into it. So
possibly, yeah, and that's what I'm hoping the 1.2 does do is give me an incentive to come back to it. But yeah, we'll keep you posted, guys.
Yep.